Excellent. Hopefully they're sorted. Excellent. There we are. So with a bit of luck that will sort it out. It's never quite guaranteed. I think we've got some people joining us already. If someone could just confirm that all is well in the world. You can see me and hear me. I can certainly see on Facebook where I'm up to. It's looking all a very bit dark, but hey ho. Maybe the colour balance is not so good today. But earlier on I was whiting out, so let's just pop a light on and see if that will improve matters, or whether that's going to have us with a problem. Oh, that's a bit better. It's all a bit brown. I think the colour balance from Facebook clearly is a bit of a headache today, but that's okay. Hi Julie. Oh, hang on a minute, let me just move that back up so I can see. Hi Julian, thank you darling for joining us. Hi Julie, hi, thank you for letting me know you can see and hear me, Julian and also Michelle. Thank you Sue. Good evening Laurie. Hi Sheila. Hi Jan. Excellent. Let me just clear some of this gubbins. It's important gubbins. I'm not going to say it isn't important gubbins. I've been raiding my stash. We're going to go on a use up our products, because why not? You see, I've got a veritably large assortment of stuff here. Right. And we've already had a piece go walkabout. So, oh, there it is. Let's just keep all the papers together. That will make my life easy. There we are. Let's get rid of some of this lot out the way, because obviously I've had to have a little bit of a play to work out where I'm going. I've got some really cute things here. Look at these. These are just doll's house miniatures that I've had in my stash I don't know how long. So I just thought that they would work really well. So let's just pop those over there. That's that lot out of the way. Let's move all the papers together, because that would also help. There we are, and then I hopefully won't lose anything. It's never quite guaranteed. And then we can get rid of that. Hello Lamia, welcome my darling. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Though I suspect it's the morning out in Canada. So I have an A4-ish sized canvas here. It's 1.6 centimetres deep, so relatively shallow as canvases go, but not completely flat. And I could work on the front, that's one way of doing it, but equally we can work on the back, and then we've got these yucky bits that we need to disguise. But hey ho! So let's just have a little bit of, because we've got a way, we've got a plan. Well, it helps to have a plan, doesn't it? There we are. Oh, there we are. Let's use that one because that's partly empty. So we're mixing and matching this afternoon, because why not? Why not indeed? Stone Effect paste were on Great and Craft the other day. Well, I forgot that one there. So if anyone hasn't got them and your normal pentart supplier doesn't have them, that's fine, but you could use structure paste and a little bit of paint and a little bit of sand and you'll get something fairly similar. Good afternoon Teresa, welcome. Hello B, welcome. So so we're on the process of my normal process of let's use up what we can when we can, and let's just add some stuff, you see. And the joy of the texture of these pastes is that they will quite happily mix and merge, and they're going to do an awesome job at covering over some of those those staples, which of course I need to keep the the canvas intact, but I don't necessarily want on display. So that's the plan. I don't want a flat white colour, I didn't want a flat grey colour, so we're mixing and matching because that's the joy of having paints and mediums. And then we can mix it all up a little bit and we can cover this. The inside we're going to cover slightly differently, and as is my usual approach to life, nothing is a precise amount because it's how I feel at the time, and it just is going to allow me to add a little bit like a stony wall effect, but more importantly it's going to help me cover up those, oops, she says, those pieces of, you know, the staples, which are an integral part of of having a canvas that, you know, that's there. Some of this paste is drying up, and that's okay. We can mix it all in. So that's, let's say, the plan is just that we're going to, yeah, ooh, that's a big lump, that we get rid of that offending lump so that we don't have too much. There we are. Let's just bash it down a bit. There we are. We will go around the, we can go around the outside as well. Let's just do the top, and I might add the outside off the live another yeah, but that's fine. Let's just add some more of this onto here. Let's just pick some of this up so that I'm not having it all exactly the same. Just wanting some colour tones and colour variations. And as I say, you just need to think about how, when you're doing a reverse canvas, how you're going to cover your staples. You could take them out and just glue the paper down, the canvas down, and that would also work. But the choice really is up to you. There we are. So we'll just mix out. I don't want a massively thick layer in that corner because of the plan that I have, but let's just cover that. So it's allowing me to cover my edges, bridge the gaps. There we are. A lot of that's going to get covered. Give me a little bit of texture. Let's just smooth that out. I don't want it completely smooth, but on the other hand, I don't want it hugely lumpy either. And I've got some nice colour variation into there. There we are. And let's just come into here and let's just do the same here. There we are. That's cool. I love it when a plan sort of maybe possibly comes together. It's always good, isn't it? Always good to have a plan that comes together. Cool. Let's just take that out of there. That won't really matter. And as I say, we're still on the let's use stuff up approach to life, because I think there's a real risk, isn't it, when you have lots of products, and we're all, every crafter in the world that I know accumulates stuff. There we are. Let's just cover that bit of wood. It probably won't matter. There we are. And as I say, later on, once that's dried, I can almost certainly, well, I know I can, I'll be able to go around and just add some bits to the outside. It's going to be slightly problematic to do it all here, but let's just take some of that off and round, and as I say, I will repeat that on all of the sides, so it's going to give me a sort of stony wall effect, really, I think is the plan. There we are. Let's just take some of that. I don't really want to be wasting that, so there we are. Mix it all up, mix my colours in together. There we are. Use what I've got, and then as I say, I can come back into there after the live and add some more as I want. So there we are, and look at the state of my fingers. And have I got a bowl in here? Have I today? I've had a bit of a busy week for a whole host of reasons, and hubby's not particularly well. He's got a chest infection, Anna Deco Art. Anna, it is. Oh, let's get these round the right way. I have out here the stone effect paste from Pentart in limestone and in cement. There we are, and all I've done is put them on, mix them up, and created myself a bit of a wall. Oh, she says. Right, we're going to need to give this a bit of a dry, but that's okay. Let's just pop that into there. Let's just clean that down. Thank you, Dee. What's a technical term, B? What is a technical term? Oh dear. No, I was away up in Preston, so about an hour north of me yesterday, and I did a very lovely class because, experienced as I am, it's still really nice to go off and do other things. No problem, Manners. Ask away. There's no point in not asking, is there, when you've got product and you're wanting to know what we're doing. Yeah. He's got a chest infection, B, but it's needed to have some steroids, and I've sent him a bit leaky as steroids I want to do. The house is a bit in chaos, but hey ho. So let's just give this a little bit of a dry. We're not doing a huge amount of paint messing around today. I wanted this lab to be relatively quick. She says famous last words, possibly, but hey ho. So let me just get this. So I've got a really nice texture, some nice colour variation, almost like a cement wall, and I've chosen that partly because of the muted colours in the paper pad that I've chosen to work with today. And I probably don't need to be wafting this around, but hey ho, we'll get there. But equally, I don't particularly want it to bubble. I do need it to be a little bit dry, or at least surface dry, so I can do some measuring and add in some extra pieces. Thank you, Beefy. I'm sure he will be. I'm sure he will be. So there we are. We're not dry. The surface is touchable. Underneath will be wet. But hey ho, that will do for the time being. Now I am working with Flower Shop today. It's a stunningly beautiful collection of papers, and I'm aware that it perhaps wasn't shown so very well. Let me just grab, she says, because now she can't find it, on telly the other day particularly well. They just didn't. I've taken all my nail polish off them as well. There we are. So this is the collection I'm working with today. It's called Flower Shop by Ciao Bella. They're beautiful 190 GSM papers, so quite thick, and there's lots of different collections. This is 8 by, but I'm actually going to be working with the 12 by 12, and then I think you'll be able to see from here. You've got lots of toppers, you've got beautiful background imagery, you've got florals you can fussy cut out. I'm debating what to do with this. I've got lots and lots of different ideas for this one. Lots and lots of different ideas. We've got borders, we've got pretty papers, we've got additional icons to add. That would just make a stunning card almost in its own right. We've got, as I say, nice backgrounds, another set of flower shops, another background, the little background version of the one I'm going to use, and another shop here. So it's all about florals. It's definitely a pretty feminine collection, but would work for male gardeners quite happily. So, you know, it's entirely your choice, isn't it, as to what you choose to do. So let's just, having popped that out there, pop that up there, and then let's have a little bit of a messenger. And then, so that space inside that canvas is 25 centimetres in that direction, and 16 and a bit in that direction. So 25 by 16, and so let us just, so this is the background paper I've chosen, and I've deliberately gone for a really neutral one for this stage. Good afternoon, Sarah, welcome my darling, much appreciated that you're here. Well, it does sometimes help. So it was 16, I happen to know that, so I'm just going to do it a little bit bigger. The joy of the canvas is I can just tuck any excess underneath quite happily. So let's just go to 16 and a half. Let's hope that that's going to behave, and then we can go to 25, and let's just go to 25 and a half, because that's going to make my life easier. Excellent. So I'm going to add just a little bit of colour to this, and you know those things that I don't very often get out, inks, yeah, that's what I've got out on my desk today. So this is pumice stone. It is a cool grey to work in with my papers, and it's very, very subtle. It is adding some edging to it, but it's not adding a lot, but it will help link the cement on the outside to the reverse of the canvas with a bit of luck. Well, that's the plan. Yeah, you can see that it's adding into there. I think they will work, my darling, on a felt hat, because they stay soft and flexible. So I can't see why they wouldn't work on a felt hat. You just need to be hot. You do need to heat set them, so that so if you're adding them on a hat that you're going to be wearing outside, you just need to be able to iron all of the surfaces so that you get them heat set, if that makes sense, Christina. So that will work nicely. There we are. So let's just get rid of that. Let's get rid of some of that, and let's pick up this. So we're going to do these in bits and pieces. I'm just using PVA glue. Any PVA glue will work. I've got Pentart Express glue, but use what you want. Let's see if we can get this. This bottle really does need to go in the bin. I've refilled it a few times. There we are. So let's just pop that into there. And the joy of canvas is I can shuffle this underneath, and go on, underneath you go, and I can slide it into place, tuck it under, and then I don't need to have any edges showing, and it's just tucked underneath the frame. So if I pop that under there, I can then push that in, push that down, give that all a little bit of a squash down, and I've got a nice clean edge then from doing that. Now clearly I now have ugly pieces here. Now what did I do? So this piece is just a little bit too big for there, but that's fine. I have a plan for that. So those, because I said, right, good afternoon, Joan, was 1.6 centimetres, 1.1, because that's the depth of my shadow canvas box, so I can do that. We'll need to trim just a fraction off, and that's okay. I'll just fold the excess round because that will work for me. So that's 2 for that. one for each side. Okay. Don't go sitting down, John, you'll get a very messy bottom, because that's where your where you've got your canvas with its drying cement at the moment. So there we are. So we'll just give this a little bit of a inking. Now I know I'm not intending adding lots of water to this project, and that's why I'm happy to have out my ordinary distress oxides. I'm using oxides because to me they blend more easily than the distress inks, but you choose the ones you've got. If you've got ordinary distress, go for that, and that's also fine. So let's just get rid of them. There we are. There we are, we'll move that, and then we'll rinse and repeat for the sides. So there we are. And as I say, we're hoping not to have a silly amount of time live today, but hey, who knows? Who knows? So let's just pop a generous amount of that onto there, and then that can go into there, into there, into there, and then I can squash it into that corner, and the excess can come out there, and that can go there. There we are. Pop that into there, give that a little push, tuck it neatly into the corner. That one's well. Good afternoon, Blanche. Welcome, my darling. Welcome, welcome. It's a very beautiful day. Well, it has been a very beautiful. It's quite muggy at the moment. I suggest we've had quite a lot of rain. I suggest we might be getting a bit more. So there we are. Let's just tuck that right down into there, pop that into there, and again, I'm going to pop that into that corner and just give that a little push to join and link. And I can just see where I need a tiny bit more of my paste. So, because I've got an area there that it doesn't leak very much, so let me just add just a little bit, because it's not completely dry. I can do that quite happily. There we are. Very good, very good. So there we are. So we just now need 2 more pieces, so those can be 1.6 by 25. There we are. So 1.6, let's get that reasonably straight. I do like it when paper trimmers aren't straight, but hey ho. So we'll need one of those. We'll need another one of those. As I say, sometimes I think it's really important that we do show all of the steps for what we're doing, so that we don't make any assumptions. So that piece back in my bag of all sorts and will be used, because there's clearly plenty left. So let's do that to 25 centimetres. Should be the right size. If it's not, I've got more I can cut. There we are. That's 20. There we are. So, and this project isn't even going to be hugely paper or product heavy, which is even more unusual when it comes to me making things, but hey ho, there we are. It's interesting, there's a huge delay between what my computer is telling me is happening and what my phone is telling me to happen. So ladies, if I'm missing what you're saying, I apologise, because it'll be the delay and the moving around between things. Feel free to invite anyone else that you might like to come along. I will continue to mix things up. Today this was just what I felt like making with, really, rather than it being anything more difficult. And sometimes it's good to do things that are just a little bit different, isn't it? And this is an easy introduction to home decor pieces. If you're wanting to move on from, say, just ordinary card making to doing something that's just a little bit different, doesn't require you to have masses and masses of product. As I say, you could just as easily cut strips of paper for the outside of the frame, or just add a simple layer of paint instead of the cement paste that I've used. So it really is, very much an easy piece to go. I'm going to add a little bit more stone paste down there. I can see that I need to. Hello Sylvia, welcome. Don't you worry, Betty, don't you worry. I'm just grateful when people do join. And the book is sometimes, well, it just does its own thing sometimes, doesn't it? I'm not too sure how much of that's going to be on view ultimately, but hey ho, there we are. So because I'm a bit of a fanatical perfectionist, we're just going to add, because I can see that where I didn't quite take it right onto those edges, I'm just going to add some extra bits into there, mix it in a bit along that edge, maybe see if I can move some of that down just to cover where that paper isn't covering. There we are, that's better. And that paste is still wet enough to move around, so I'm really not having to add very much. There we are. There, cool. That looks quite nice. I quite like it. It's sort of where making memories with your grandchild is far more important, Alison, than joining me, my darling. Far more important. So, she says, right. So let's just give this a bit more of a try before we start messing. I've done quite a lot of fussy cutting because I really didn't think you wanted me to be here till the cows come home, chopping out everything. Let's just give that just an extra blast. Right, so I've taken essentially imagery from one of the paper sheets from one of the 12 by 12 collections, okay? And I sort of have a plan. Well, I do have a plan, there's no sort of about it. So, but we're going to add some more pieces along the way. Right, and we're going to add some depth along the way. So, that'll be, because that's the way I was going to plan to do it. There we are, there we are, there we are. So, we're approximately going to do that. Very approximately. So let's just start adding some pieces, and obviously I am not going to leave these flat because I want things to be able to tuck underneath and behind, and so conveniently I have a large collection of spacers. These are just canvas stretchers. Most canvases, unless they're the flat panels, will come with some extras. And in an ideal world, you'd have this pretty supported every which way. I am going to be adding other stuff, tucking it underneath. So I've got I've got a good amount of support there. Okay, and as I say, these come from one paper collection. So let's just pop that down there. Let's make sure those words are reasonably okay. And I'm going to add this here. So let me just get rid of that foam tape, which I don't want because it's not going to be big enough. And then I can start adding some more of these. Hi Caroline, welcome. The houses are beautiful. The whole paper collection is absolutely stunning. So let me just get this logically. So that is going to sit partly over there, so it only needs one depth. This one is going to sit over, and this one can have one depth. And let me just add a little bit more down into there to stabilize it. It's quite important when you're layering that you add enough support for stabilizing things. So rather than just risking it, I can already see where that's flopping down at the side, but again, it's not going to matter because that corner isn't going to be on display. There we are. So that piece is going to sit ultimately on there, and I've got another flower piece to pop into there, and I think I am going to lift that up, so that's going to need another piece there. I told you I've got lots of these. Or maybe maybe I had decided to pop that into there. Why not? Let's pop that piece into there and just get rid of that. The papers are Ciao Bella Flower Shop, my darling. There we are. And then we can add more support as we need. And we're going to be using quite a lot of these, and they're natural coloured, so that's helpful. Good afternoon, Isabel. Thank you, my darling, for joining me. Do you know, would you mind sharing whereabouts in the world you are? It's always appreciated. There we are. But as I say, I'm going to be adding layers on top of these, so and tucking stuff in place. So let me just, there we are, that can go down, and we'll add another bit of support there, and by the time I've got all my bits added in, it really isn't going to be too noticeable. Hello Luann, welcome my darling, welcome. So those in America, I think it is Memorial Weekend, is that correct? I think I'm right in saying that. So there we are, and we can pop that there. Yeah, we're going to pop that into there, so we can just pop some glue onto those pieces and tuck that into there. Okay, cool. That's reasonably well covered, I think. So we're going to pop that one there, and we're going to pop that one there on the outside. But I obviously have lots of gaps here that now need to be filled in. So I have some faux trees that I am going to tuck in to the background of here. Let me just pop some of that, a big glob of that on there, and I've got a whole mixture of just faux floristry pieces. Nothing more complicated, nothing more difficult, just bits to add in some details, and I've got them in assorted different colours, so we're going to add some of these pieces in. Just, it might be a bit bright for this, but hey ho, that will do. That can sit on, come on, in you go. There we are. That can go into there. Let's just add that piece into there, and we can cover that join quite nicely. Excellent. Let's see what else we've got. We've got some more of these, so let's just add some bits and pieces. So we're going to lift these under, over, round and about. Okay. So we're just adding some extra details, come on underneath there, into this, and just because I've got big pieces doesn't mean I have to use big pieces. That's definitely deciding to be a pain, so let's just pop that onto there. There we are. and I'm happy for these to be poking in, out, under, over, yeah, because we're just building a little bit of textural interest into this piece. There we are. I think we need another piece of that there, and I've got more bits I can add as I want to as we go on. She says, yeah, I've got another bit there to tuck in, and another one of those. Excellent. Okay, so my next plan is to pop these onto here, and clearly I've got a big void underneath there, so we'll just shovel a collection of these into here to help stabilise everything. I don't want it to be completely saggy. There we are. So we can just, then this is why I'm using canvas spacers, because they're cheap, cheerful, readily available, but you could just as easily chop up some grey board if that's what you've got. That sort of brought that up onto a level, and it's just going to provide me some extra support, so I can pop that onto there, that onto there, that onto there, and that can now sit there, and it's not too saggy, if that makes sense. Let's just grab another pack of them. There we are. Oh, that's a lot of hail to cover a trampoline. So there we are. Let's just, as I say, these pieces are all about just adding some support. Was I over generous with that? Yeah, probably, but hey ho, who cares? There we are. We can just add, so you could use chopped up bits of grey board, you could use the Amazon packaging, you know, anything that you happen to have lurking around will work for this activity. Okay, so that's now level, so let's just pop that onto there, and then let's just pop a piece here. There we are, and then that can go onto there, and yeah, it's a bit unsupported underneath there. I might need to pop a couple more spacers, I think, just one there. Let me add another one on the top of that. It's just so that we're not too floppy. I think we're going to need one more. But this way you can see my process, my thought process. Scary, but there we are. Okie dokie. So that can go there, that can go there, and now that piece is definitely much more supported, and that house isn't going to go anywhere. There we are. So we've got those pieces. We're now going to do, we are going to do a little bit of edging. Vintage Flower Market, free local deliveries. Hey, so that piece is going to go reasonably 20, so that's nearly 30. Yeah, that'll do, that'll do. We'll eyeball that and call that central. So we've got Vintage Flower Market as our title. Now I've got gaps here, gaps I don't particularly want on display, and that's fine. Let me just get rid of that bright white on there, and the same on the car. So we're going to have a little bit of tackling of some of these areas in a minute. There we are. To cover up some of those gaps. There we are. And we're going to have a little car there, and again, let's get rid of that white. It's too white. There we are. And I could pop that car underneath there, I guess, and chop off some of those leaves. It wasn't the original plan. My original plan was to pop the car on the front of there. So we're going to stick with my original plan. And as I say, these pieces all came out of one sheet of paper. So, with a bit of jiggery pokery, thank you, Dee. Well, I think it's nice with the 3D effect. So let's just not break our pack of 3D glue. Let's just see if we can encourage this to not be broken. There we are, because that's the pain of the pin flare glue when you don't close it properly. There we are, that will work. That will work. And let's get rid of that white again. There we are, so it looks like more like wool. Okie dokie. We will get it, you will come through there, honestly you will. There we are. So we can now tuck that under there. So we can build that up, and that covers quite a lot of that particular void. And we've got I did have some more pieces I thought cut, but hey ho, maybe I didn't. Oh yes I did. They're there, you see. I like it when a plan comes together. There we are, and we can pop that one onto there. And the joy of the 3D glue gel is that I can add as much as I want. Yeah, they all do the same. They all do the same. Yeah, it's just what happens. I'm going to say it's my own fault. I should have squashed out. There we are. I can pop that into there. So that's bouncing up there, and that's covering that gap. I know I've got a gap there, and that's also just fine. There we are. Oops, I don't want it in there, but we've got, you can see that I've got an awful lot of other bits and bats lying around, so I think I'm going to pop that one onto there, and that will cover a chunk of that, and that's fine. So let's just pop some of that onto there. There we are, can go there. You see. Thank you, my darling. I will definitely, as I say, I think this is absolutely my own fault, because what it means is I didn't close it properly without an air gap, but that's, yeah, and I know exactly where that happened. So we will get there, because, you know, we will. There we are. We can just get rid of that. If I get that plug out, it'll work. There we are. Hey, hey. Yuck. Sticky fingers city. Ugh. Let's pop that in. And if you're going to do what I've just done, please, ladies, just be very careful, because it's probably not the most well recommended of activities to squash like with a knife like that. There we are. So we can then add our car onto the top of there, reasonably flat. There we are. Excellent. Okay, let's de-stick the fingers, because that's what we cleared to do. Okay. Oh, you're daft. You're daft about having closed that off, because we've got some more here. There we are. So let's just re-tackle that glue, and we can then add some of the other bits that we've got lurking around, of which we've got quite a lot. There we are. So that can go onto there. And because I'm fed up with doing that, we might just chop another spacer. There we are. Pop that onto there, pop that onto there. I see, that's going to be easier, isn't it? There we are. So that can go over there. So we've got lots of variation in height. We've got another floral pot here. So let's just do need to add the glue gel for that, this bit. There we are. That can cover that bit of the greenery there. So that just leaves me that space to cover. So let's just pop that onto there. So we've got an ugly bit here that I don't like, and we've got some other bits and pieces and some flowers and all sorts to tuck in. So I think we might, let's just have a little see what we're going to do. So we've got a little sign to go in there. These are all bits that I've had lying around in my stash for quite a while. So just grab bits that you think might work together. Yeah, that's going to sit into there. A little notice will work, I think, quite happily. And then we've got, well, we've got all sorts. We're short of now. We've got, there we are. So let's just pop in some bits of topiary. So there we are. So these, as I say, are greenhouse, are just miniatures from a doll's house shop, basically, online. So there we are. We can pop that into there. I'll pop that slightly at an angle. It's going to sit comfortably at an angle into there. We've got another one, so let's just pop that pot, and that can go into there. What else have we got? We've got another pot that can sit onto there quite happily. Sit. There we are. They're not going to sit very nicely, but hey ho, there we are. We're just going to, don't like the way that's sitting, but that's okay. So let's just, we'll add one of those into there. A little pot sticking through will work. We're going to add, let's see where we're going to add. As I say, we've got lots of extra bits and pieces. So let's just pop them where we want. Might have that piece just popped onto there because I think it's going to sit quite nicely just in the front of there. I'm using all of my spaces then, aren't I, that I've got lurking around. There we are. Obviously can't have that there because it wouldn't be logical. It just would not be logical. There we are. Now the problem that I've got there is I've got one of my spaces underneath. So let me just take that out of the way and just pop that flower ball tucked into there because I want it underneath there. And let's just take another one of these. As I say, these are literally just pieces that came from a Doll's House Miniatures collection. And so that means that you can do lots with them. There we are, we can pop them all over the place. There we are. Let's pop that one there. I want to break that up. Right, I know what I'm going to do next, and that is I'm going to grab my go-to when it comes to this type of activity. I'm just going to grab a little bit of moss. There we are, and that's going to help disguise that edge where I haven't got it covered so far, and also some of those pots areas that I'm not, don't particularly wish to have all of that brown on display. There we are, we can pop that into there, that can tuck under there, and then we can pop that under into there, and we can start tucking in some extra pieces. Just building with what we're doing. So I think a little bit of moss under there will look nice, and we'll have a little bit of moss coming out from under there. Do I want a little bit of moss? Actually, I'm going to add some moss along here so that it's not all just in one area. There we are, we'll pop that along there. So look as if that the car has been there for a little bit. There we are. And we might add some little bits along here, just so that we're breaking it up and we've not got all of the extra things. It wouldn't be one of my makes, Anthony, if we didn't have lots of layers and lots of detail. Or I think that's floating. Don't like that. I do like where the concept, but it's definitely too floaty in the air. So let's just then add another bit of moss around there, and that's possibly going to mean that actually I can add another, yeah, I can pop that there, pop that over, anchor that in with my glue. Let's get rid of that splodge because that's not going to be helpful for the next moves. There we are. Pop that down, pop that down, pop that down. Do I want a little topiary tree underneath there? Maybe not. Maybe not. I think we're going to have that one just poking out from there. There we are. I can pop underneath there. So, okie dokie. And I think I'm going to pop a little bit of that moss, just poking it under there. I love adding these natural elements to my makes. I just think they just make such a huge difference to what you're doing. Yes, this is going to have it's going to have texture, it's going to have dimension. Yeah, I'm not going to hide from that. The joy of having the shadow boxes, I can literally now poke in extra bits and pieces. So let me just put a big splodge of that there. It doesn't mean that I'm going to use everything I have out on my desk. That's going to, because of the texture of that, I'm going to need a splodge of my pin flare, I think, to hold that. CNC have it, and also Personal Impressions, personal website have it as well. There we are. So that can go in there. I don't just want one piece of greenery though, because that's would be silly. So there we are. So adding, as I say, my idea is that these sort of almost represent trees in the background. As I say, I think you should be able to find it on PI's own website if you prefer to get it from there. So we're just building up, and these, you say, these come from floristry wholesalers, so you just buy, so I say you just buy because I appreciate not everyone can necessarily just buy, but they're not, when you get an awful lot for your money by buying from a floristry wholesalers rather than buying things like this from a craft shop. Craft shops absolutely have their places, but I'm not going to say they don't. I wouldn't, but sometimes I think it's just worth having. She says, with sticky mitts. Sticky mitts. Definitely want a clean cloth. There we are. There we are. I can pop that. So that's now underneath as opposed to making a mess. There we are. There we are. Pop that into there. That's better. So I know what that's catching on. That is catching on the spacer that I added, and that's fine. It's just, she says, adding a huge blob of that there. So there we are. Let's just wipe that mess off there, because if I add any flour stuff, which I'm planning to do, then we will have an icky sticky mess. Yeah, that can go underneath there, and because I've not got these pieces in fixed hugely in place. I've got them added in my layers. It's allowing me to lift and poke and push, and then you just collect over time. Yeah, some of these pieces I will have had a good wee while, so we'll just add some extra colour into here, I think. Or maybe we won't. Maybe we'll think, actually, we don't need too much to be added. There we are. Let's just add a different colour. Same shape, different colour will just help it not look quite so formal. There we are. Okay, so let's just tuck that piece underneath there, because that's going to work, tucked there. And I think we need another piece tucked underneath there, just poking its way out. I think we'll have another bit tucked in there, and we'll have another one, a little piece of that there. There we are. So, okay. So I quite like that. Quite like that. I quite like it a lot. I've got some other bits and pieces I could pop on, but maybe we won't from that point of view. So, also on that same piece of paper was this one. It says "Market for cut flowers." So I'm going to pop that there because I like it there, for no other reason. It will help pull things together. Here we are. And then, oh, she says throwing stuff around. Let's just squishle this. So this is a variation on the one I shared the other day. In the collection there's so many different pieces. Yeah, so we'll just add, I think I'm not going to add the bird, because I'm not too sure I like the bird so much now, but it was on the same piece of paper. Let's just pop that up there, flying in the sky. I've got yucky, sticky, icky, nicky, mucky hands now, which is always joyful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Let's just clear that mess, because that won't be helping any. It's certainly not helping my sticky hands. So the papers here really are doing an awful lot of the work. So let me just do what you're meant to do, not what I clearly did do. So I've pushed out all of the air from that, and now put the lid on. That will help. I mean, I'll have less problems when I go to that next time. Okay. Now then. Ugh, she says, I really do have icky, sticky, mucky hands now. Just bear with while I icky, sticky, mucky my hands, because right. Okay. Right. And I know that seems daft because I've just cleared up that lot, but okay. Right, so this is glue. I know it's glue. It's intentional. There we are. So I now have some stuff called Flower Soft. It is still available. So I can just put some little bits into here. It will cover up, and I will shake off the excess later, when it's all dried. But I can pop some little bits into some of these areas. It's just going to help soften some of those greenery bits that I've added. I might need to add a bit more glue to some of those, but I don't need to have masses of it, but it's just going to help soften, as I say, some of those areas. There we are. Let's see what happens if I give this a... It certainly does so. Let's just give that a little bit of a shake. Hey, there we are. So let's put that in there. As I say, later on I will add some more of the paste around the edges so that the canvas is all works all together, and I'll take a picture at some point and we'll get it posted. There we are. Thank you, Maddie, that's lovely. Thank you, Laurie, thank you very much. Much appreciated. As I say, I didn't want to be on live for a huge amount of time today for a whole host of reasons, but I think that this is an effective project that isn't something that's going to take you hours and hours. Yes, I have done some fancy cutting. It's essentially 2 pieces of paper from one paper pack. So it's not even as if it's something that's going to cost you an arm and a leg, and then lots of extra bits so raided out of my stash. So Doll's House miniatures and faux greenery from the local forest wholesalers. So I am going to say goodbye for now, and let's meet again hopefully next Sunday. I am live for pentart on Tuesday evening. You'd be delighted to know, because I certainly am, that it will be my last fabric make, and we're bridging the gap between fabric painting and journaling. So a bit of papercraft mixed in with the fabric make, as Pentart transition from advertising their novelties and move to some of their core products. So I hope that that works for you. Please, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe. I know out in the States the weather has been awful and there are more tornadoes forecast, so please be very careful. Make sure you're protected. In the UK, I hope that you don't end up with too many more storms through the next few hours and a few days. And as I say, I will see you online on Tuesday on Pentart's page. Bye.